should be
Per the new.
per the new. All right, we're going to get started right now. But first, can you please silence your cell phones? I'd like to introduce to you today the CEO of the College and Career Academy, Mr. Rob Garcia, who will be standing in for Dr. Crumbs.
Good morning, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to welcome you to Marietta High School as this morning's ceremony serves to honor and recognize those who have risked their lives in defense of our freedom around the world. Welcome to Marietta High School, and without further ado, I would like to introduce Cadet Colonel Jocelyn Lopez, forgive me. Cadet Colonel Jocelyn Lopez to begin today's event. Thank you so much.
Please rise and remain standing for the presentation of the colors, the singing of our national anthem, and the posting of the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Would you please share with me a moment of silence for those veterans who are no longer with us but have served to keep us safe? Please welcome to the stage the Marietta High School Chamber Corps, directed by Dr. Brittany Wood, singing Thank You, Soldier. You may take your seats.
When I lay my head down every night and go to sleep in peace, I can stay there knowing all is well while you're standing on your feet. The soldiers who have traveled on to countries far and near, in peace and war you paid the price for the cause you hold so dear. That we may wake each morning bright and know that freedom
Good morning. I am Cadet Colonel Jocelyn Lopez, the Group Commander for GA 20021. As the Group Commander, I take pride in being on the stage to honor our veterans today. Over the course of the last 17 years, I have learned about the nobility and bravery displayed by our veterans. I will now present to you The Noble and the Brave, a Veterans Day tribute. When America had an urgent need, these brave ones raised a hand. No hesitation held them back. They were proud to take a stand. They left their friends and family. They gave up a normal life to serve their country and their God. They plowed into the strife. They fought for freedom and for peace on strange and foreign shores. Some lost new friends, some lost their lives in a long and brutal war. Other veterans answered a call to support the ones who fought. Their country had requirements for the essential skills they brought. We salute every one of them, the noble and the brave, the ones still with us here today, and those who rest in the grave. So here's to our country's heroes. They're a cup above the rest. Let's give the honor that is due to our country's very best.
Good morning. Let me begin with a hearty welcome to all our veterans. I also want to extend a warm welcome to our special honoree, Mr. David Tiggs, and to his fiancée, Sherry, and to Mr. Rob Garcia, who is standing in for Dr. Crumbs today. Thank you for ensuring the legacy of this event endures. To our Marietta High School administrators, to our civic leaders, visitors, and parents, to our talented faculty, and I want to extend a special welcome to all our students to this incredible Veterans Day celebration. We are delighted that you are here with us, both in person and by video link. And isn't it great that Marietta High School has an annual tradition of formally celebrating Veterans Day? I am honored to be part of it. Some of you may ask, what is Veterans Day all about? Let me say with clarity, Veterans Day is dedicated to honoring, celebrating, and thanking our nation's veterans. Today, we do just that. We honor, celebrate, and thank them for their selflessness to answer the call of duty, for their personal sacrifices and those of their families, for their defense of our nation's vital interests, and above all, for their vigilance and willingness to fight and die for our freedoms and to preserve the American way of life. For those who wonder how this tradition began, it can be traced back to the events and aftermath of the conflict known as the War to End All Wars, World War I. As the words of our 40th President, Ronald Reagan, still echo in our ears, he reminds us that on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, hostilities abruptly ended with an armistice. World War I drove a huge increase in the number of American service members under arms. On April 6, 1917, when the United States entered World War I, our nation had a standing army of approximately 127,000 men. By November 1918, just 19 months later, 4 million men had served in the U.S. Army. Accordingly, November 11th itself became a hallowed day in America. In 1919, President Wilson proclaimed the first Armistice Day, which in 1926 became a permanent legal holiday. And in 1954, the U.S. Congress, at the urging of veterans organizations, changed its name to Veterans Day to honor military members who had served in World War II and the Korean War as well. Today, we continue that tradition to honor, celebrate, and thank our veterans of all wars on this day. In a moment, we will begin a sacred military tradition of presenting a folded American flag to a deserving United States military veteran, a veteran who served in both the Navy and the Army. Air Force Junior ROTC Unit Georgia 2002-1 of Marietta High School will present the folded American flag to Mr. David Tiggs. So let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Tiggs. Mr. Tiggs is a graduate of Marietta High School, class of 1980. Shortly after graduating, Mr. Tiggs enlisted in the United States Navy and attended basic training at Naval Training Center, Orlando. After graduating from basic training, he was sent to A school to learn his specific skill needed for the job in the Navy. From 1980 to 2005, Mr. Tiggs was assigned duties as an aviation boatswain's mate handler on the USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier, where he had Navy sea deployments to the Middle East conflicts and conflicts in other parts of the world. He was also assigned duties as part of a CB Naval Construction Battalion. Mr. Tiggs finished off his career in the Navy as a weapons instructor, achieving the rank of Chief Petty Officer. He continued his military career, transferring to the United States Army, where he was assigned to Charlie Company, 151st Aviation Lakota Helicopter Unit, as a counter-drug task force agent with Atlanta High Intensive Drug Trafficking Agency, and performed ground drug surveillances as a recon team member. During his career, he earned 2 Good Conduct Awards, 3 Navy Achievement Medals, and 3 Army Commendation Medals. He retired from the Army in December 2013, reaching the rank of Sergeant First Class. We now honor, thank, and celebrate the former Sergeant First Class, David Tiggs, as we present him with a ceremonial folded flag. Sir, Please accept this flag on behalf of all veterans, given with the greatest measure of respect and adoration. Cadets, you may proceed.
For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans have been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us, for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave.
the things were gone. I've worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause it fights and stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt that love is land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt the love is land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt that love is land. God bless the USA.
Today, we are very pleased to have with us several very special guests. These are our veterans who have served our country in the United States military. We would like to recognize each of these veterans with a brief introduction at this time. When your name is called, please stand at your seat and remain standing until all the names are called, and then we can give you a big warm Marietta High School welcome that you all deserve.
From the United States Marine Corps, Gunning Sergeant Carlos Ancrum, 23 years of service.
From the United States Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Michael Crockett, 33 years of service.
From the United States Air Force, Staff Sergeant Frederick Maluka, 7 years of service.
From the United States Air Force, Master Sergeant Charlissa Adams, 10 years of service.
From the United States Army, Sergeant Barbara Lambert, 2 years of service. If we have any veterans in our audience today that we are unaware of your attendance or miscalling your name, please stand and be recognized at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Please join me in a big round of applause for our heroes who have sacrificed so much for our country's freedom. Thank you, and you may be seated. Sabers, post.
It is now time to recognize those veterans who walk and work among us. Those veterans who spend each day providing the same commitment and work habits they provided our country are now providing the same commitment to all of us here at Marietta High School.
Now, our very own Marietta High School veterans will be escorted to the front by an AFJ ROTC cadet. From the United States Army Reserve, Specialist Megan Alfaro, 2 years of service.
From the United States Army National Guard, Captain Tawana Shelton, 11 years of active service.
From the United States Air Force, Airman First Class Sandra Nick Long, 2 years of service. From the United States Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel James T. Wilson, 23 years of active service.
From the United States Air Force, Master Sergeant Heather Lyda, 13 years of service. Because Moya told me she wasn't, and then Moya told me she was. So now I go twice. From the United States Air Force, Master Sergeant Nicholas Smith, 22 years of service.
From the United States Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Jose Alfaro, 30 years of active service.
From the United States Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel Fred Prue, 40 years of active service.
Please join me in a round of applause for our very own Marietta High School veterans.
Veterans, this is your day. We will never forget that you are the reason this great nation is known as the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now, as our program draws to a close, I would like to thank our veterans for their service one last time, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. Ladies and gentlemen, we now conclude with playing a medley of our armed services songs. Please stand and join me with a final round of applause for our veterans. Yep.
Goes rolling along.
This now ends our program, but we ask that all students remain in their seats in the impact until the end of advisement, which will be 9:05. But we also ask our senior cadets and veterans to come up on stage for a photo op. Huh?
Did you tell him they're waiting here?
Yes.
Oh, ask Mr. Frisbee to turn on the house lights.
Mr. Frisbee, can you turn on the house lights?